Start spreading the news. Juan Soto goes across town from the Bronx to Queens for a light $765 million American over 15 years. So much to unpack. So much meat on the bone to talk about. I mean,
biggest day for me in New York for a baseball fan. I asked New Yorkers, we'll have our producer hop in, Ben, biggest Mets-Yankees offseason day in the history of the sport for a lot of young lads.
Oh,
Ladettes.
for sure. Yeah,
big moment.
I remember vividly when I was a youngster and A-Rod signed for 10 years, $252 million.
Oh, yeah.
I remember Dan Patrick or whoever was on SportsCenter coming on and saying that figure and that's when Scott Boras became a household name.
Yeah.
It was like 10 years, 252. That's insane. And there's definitely some young kids around the city that are going to remember 15 years, 765 for Juan Soto.
Well, talk to me from a two baseball town city in Chicago.
Yeah.
You have Cubs, you have White Sox. I don't know if there's been any prominent. I feel like there has been. Maybe Pete can hop in too, from White Sox to Cubs, Cubs to White Sox. When that happens in town, it's just it's shell shocking. But in this town where you don't really go from Yankees to Mets, you go from Mets to Yankees if you go anywhere.
Right.
This just speaks to so much. I don't even know where to begin. Is this the new school Mets? Is this the Uncle Steve treatment? Is this Soto being a lone wolf? Where do we start?
That's where I was getting at. So much meat on the bone to talk about. You can dissect this in so many different ways. If you keep it on the field, maybe Juan thinks the Mets are going in the right direction. Maybe he thinks that in the future, which is unbelievable to say into a microphone, that the future is brighter in Queens than it is in the Bronx.
It's actually wild to think. Now, we've talked about this before. When the late Jerry Buss went, the late George Steinbrenner went, it's very difficult when you set that company culture and you are player friendly for so many decades to have the turnover to your offspring and maintain that. And I'm looking at the Yankees. I mean, we got one ring since the 00s. And this team, if I watch Aaron Boone blow another piece of bubble gum into the abyss after beating anyone not out of the ALCS, or out of the AL Central, I'm going to lose my mind. This speaks, to your point, maybe, and Passan said it when he did the breakdown, Soto looked at the grass is greener over there in Queens.
Which is unfathomable.
Unfathomable.
If you have been following just how the Yankees operate and how free agency has operated over the years. So, you just don't leave the Dodgers to go to the Angels. You don't leave the Lakers.
Thanks for not saying Padres.
You don't leave the Lakers to go to the Clippers.
It doesn't happen.
You don't leave the Cubs to go to the White Sox. It just doesn't happen. Like, the cachet of these big-time franchises,
they hold.
The history holds. You want to be in the Hall of Fame with Jeter and Mariano Rivera. That's in center field. That doesn't exist for the Mets.
Two things I want to throw you. He's already won a ring, so he's got the ring on the shelf.
That's an element.
He's also, he went from the Nats down there, grabbed a quick California burrito in Ron Burgundy land where I'm from, made the All-Star team, dipped again, and then dipped a fourth time. Is he just in that mode where maybe they caught him, like not really, that mention? I forgot who said it. It might have been my guy, Nick Totoro. He flipped the cap back right after the Dodgers won and sat there. I remember that vivid moment going, oh man, that's a very detached move right there by a guy that seemingly should be very, very demoralized.
Well, this is when we start getting a little too deep, I believe, with stuff like that, because if he signs, then that doesn't mean anything. So it's hard to decipher what actually.
Did you hear the behind the scenes stuff with his family members and the security guards? Do you think that plays a huge factor here?
So shout out to my co-host on my pod, No Catch Up Pod, Nick the Quick. He kind of laid it out perfectly. There's been rumblings about the Yankees didn't treat Soto's family maybe as well as he liked, and on the flip side, Cohen's giving them a suite that's valued at $500,000 a year for his family to come in and, hey, we'll take care of you. You're Soto's family? Essentially do whatever you want. Well, he gave him the keys. So, really quick. So, my guy, Big Nick, laid it out perfectly. He said, we're the New York Yankees. there was a Juan Soto before you. Reggie Jackson was Juan Soto. Mickey Mantle was Juan Soto. A-Rod was Juan Soto. You're in the long line. Aaron Judge was Juan Soto 2 years ago. You are in the long line of Juan Sotos. So we don't necessarily have to bend backwards to make you happy. And maybe that's a cycle, they subconsciously kind of acted that way, like where we didn't feel the need to treat Soto's family any better than we treat Judge or we treat somewhere else's, but he felt they were slighted. So, and there'll be another Juan Soto after you. For the Mets, that isn't the case. This is Juan Soto, the first of his kind, essentially, to come over and lead the way for the New York Mets.
This is the era where Neymar's taking money and going to Saudi Arabia for top-tier treatment. Ronaldo, same thing.
Yeah.
NIL college sports. Are we just in a new era where the Yankees are almost playing this? You know, we're on the Gotham Sports App, so I'll keep it very polite. But they're keeping it like, look at our history. Who cares about what the playing field is now?
Who's an extra $10 million? This is the Yankees you're talking about.
When in all actuality, it is a what have you done for me lately? We're over 10 years without a ring in the Bronx. Unacceptable for what we grew up with. So I just look at almost a fascinating chess match between the Steinbrenners and Cohen. But this probably, to your point, the extra care to the player, that's what always did make sense to me. Why would you not do everything for the player? Yeah, you're paying. I mean, he's there, but their family,
that's part of it.
That hospitality is a part of Italian. That's a big factor.
Yeah, no doubt. And our cachet has been able to maybe get away with some things that other teams wouldn't be able to get away with because we're the Yankees, we're the pinstripes.
So did the Mets steal him? Did the Yankees bottle it? I wanted to get your thoughts on that.
I wouldn't say they stole him. I would say he was up for grabs.
Okay.
And the Mets sold him a better idea and a better case. I think it's actually a perfect marriage, which is interesting. You brought up Soto bouncing around different teams.
Yeah.
In other words, I'm loyal to trying to win and a lot of money. I was loyal to the Nats because I was forced to be there because that's kind of where I came up, right? I was loyal to trying to win when I went to San Diego. I thought that was a good fit. I thought we had so much talent that we'd be able to win a World Series there. That didn't really work out, so I continue to move around. We end up on the Yankees. I push it to as far as I can go, and now I'm a free agent. Clear. I could go anywhere I want. And it was a perfect marriage between a guy that doesn't necessarily value or feel loyalty to any singular organization and a guy in Steve Cohen that was not going to be beat in a bidding match. You could have took it to $800 million. You could have took it to $850. I wasn't going to lose. If I know the guy in Juan Soto I can get if I bid the highest, I'm not losing that contest to the New York Yankees. So we can hit 750, we can hit 775, we can hit 8. Yeah. And I know that guy eventually is just going to go to where the most money is coming from, and I'm going to sell him a dream, and I'm going to treat him a little better. I'm going to get the Juan Soto, and that's exactly what happened.
I have to ask our producer, because I did ask you, back to taking the bus to school, what that bus to school would have been like as a kid on a Mets-Yankees bus that day. What did it mean to you, though? And then what would you have said? What would you have chirped to the kids on the Yankees bus that day?
I mean, when I texted you, I said I feel like a king in the castle right now. What the school? It would have been a lot of Yankee fans being like, "We have 27 rings. Like, you're still a little brother. We're still the Yankees." Well, you can still be the Yankees. You can still have that cachet, that history. We have Juan Soto, though.
It's a new day.
It's a new day.
It's a new day. That's the only response that any Mets fan should have to if the argument is we've won more titles than you. Yeah, well, that ends today. It's a new day.
This is great.
The change of guard.
This is great for New York. This is great for baseball. Yeah. This is unbelievable for baseball. The fact that Soto spread his wings and took a chance here, I'm fascinated borough to borough. How's this man going to mob around? I've been asking this question all week. Is he going to get chirped? Is he going to get pushed back? Does he not care because he's such an alpha? I don't care who's going to, in Yankee world, tell me what to do.
Chirp me about what?
Just because you're in it, just like in Chicago. If someone goes from the White Sox to the Cubs or Cubs to the White Sox and they're just enjoying a day out in the city, are they going to get chirped?
Of course.
Yeah.
But the Cubs fans would have to go looking for a White Sox fan. It would take some time to find one. So,
but that's true. But that's every day. He's getting chirped every day. I don't think whatever. Who cares?
Yeah.
You can chirp me all you want. I think Steve Cohen coming in, he told you exactly what he was going to do when he bought the team, and that's exactly what he's doing.
Does he remind you of Ballmer at all from how the Clippers are doing things?
Yeah.
Just pouring money in?
Ballmer has a cap and an apron.
That's true.
They don't have that here. He's willing to spend whatever it takes.
To put a button on it.
By the way, he's going to recoup all of his money if he makes them in a perennial winner and he builds up the area and he owns the entire area. What I think owners miss out on, and I don't know if they don't realize or don't care or can't see that far ahead, is that if you create a winner and you spend the money will come back in other directions.
Without question.
Ricketts owns the Cubs and owns the area. If you make that a winner, everybody's going to come spend bundles of money in the area. They're going to spend bundles of money on merchandise.
Yeah.
And the money is going to come back. That's what I don't understand. Why are we you got to spend the money to make the money that you want to make. And it's...
Speaking of which, Fried gets swooped up from the Braves to the Yanks within 48 hours. So if we had to hypothesize that the Yanks are maybe going to go out of their way to overspend for 3, 4, 5 players, would you guess absolutely? Or do you think they actually maybe
it's clear you just made available $760 million and then you couldn't spend it. So
fair point.
You clearly have $760 million to improve the baseball team. You better go out and spend. And by the way, it has to sting the Yankees ownership, Cashman, the fans, because this is flipped. That free deal's a blip. Barely saw it on the ticker. Who cares? We're still talking. We're still talking about Juan Soto. That's the story, and that was always the Yankees, and now it's not. That is the big thing here. The guard is already happening.
They got to go out and win.
Not right now because there's no games available. They're winning.
Oh, they won the offseason.
They're winning the offseason.
They already won the
right
offseason.
Now.
They already
All
won.
That stuff matters. So yeah, man.
I wanted to see if the Yankees go out of their way to try to swoop Pete and his Polar Burger across.
I've heard that they're not interested.
They're not interested.
There are reports that they're not interested. There are reports that are not interested in Nolan Arenado. There are reports that are not interested in a number of guys that are out there being dangled for agency trade. Alex Bregman was another guy that I'm supposed they're not interested in.
Wow. I heard they're trying to get Tucker, but we'll see.
We'll see.
Either way,
that
Juan
rotation
Soto
is nice. Even just adding Fried is a really good pickup.
Juan Soto.
Good for baseball or not?
Great for baseball.
Why?
It makes this town, which is a baseball, I mean, it's a top 3 baseball town in the world of Major League Baseball, in my humble opinion, makes it absolute must-see television. The NL East now is the most riveting division by a mile in the MLB. And you have Soto, which no one's really talking about because it's all Mets Yankees. He's packing his division. He gets to go against the Nats, the Phillies. Those Nats, Phillies, Braves road games are going to be riveting.
Yeah, the first time he comes back to Yankee Stadium is must see TV. It's going to be unbelievable.
Him and Lindor are just going to be.
Last thing on the contract too, just to show you how it seemed like he was going to get whatever he wanted. I thought it was mind-boggling that he got an opt-out.
Oh yeah, 5 years.
Possibility after 5 years. That is unbelievable to me because essentially it gives him a 5-year free roll. He could stink.
Yeah.
And he'll continue to make $51 million. But if he rakes like we think he's going to rake, he's 100% going to opt out and ask for 70.
Yeah.
Or 67. Or whatever the number is. Because in the next 4 to 5 years, some Joe Schmo is going to be making 45 that can't touch Juan Soto.
Yeah.
He's going to be like, this dude is making $5 million less than me? He stinks. I need
money's
68.
always just going to go up.
And if he adds a World Series, he might opt and ask for $100 million a year.
And what's wrong with that, though? I heard no shout to no ketchup pod.
Sure.
I heard that take.
Yeah.
What's wrong with that? In 5 years, if you're telling me as a Mets fan that we got a World Series and he wants to opt out and get more money,
but no,
we got it.
But as an 100%, and I'm always pro player, get as much money as possible. But I mean, as I guess his pockets are infinitely deep.
Yeah.
But like, it just seems an odd way to expose yourself. Why give him that opportunity to opt? But I guess if he does bring 2 World Series and is continuing to mash, I guess maybe he earned $75 million per. I thought that was an interesting wrinkle that, because now we're in this same spot 5 years from now.
Right.
We're talking 15, 6, 7, 65. It's really 5 years.
There's
And
some other
then we'll get back to you later.
big
It's
names
5 years, 250.
that could like reset the market in that time. You got Vlad Guerrero Jr. is going to be a free agent next class. Bo Bichette also. So there's some guys that could move that number up.
Yeah.
So congrats to Juan Soto.
Great for New York. Great for us.
Great for New York. Great for people talking about sports like us. And it is riveting talk. Salute to Juan Soto.
There it is.